You're at 35,000 feet. The lights in the cabin are dim, most of the passengers are fast asleep, and you're lying in your seat with earbuds in, completely relaxed. But while you're literally drowsing about your destination, someone several rows behind you could very well be wide awake with your wallet on their mind. Sounds like something out of a movie, right? Unfortunately, in-flight theft is very real and shockingly common. In today's video, we're pulling back the curtain on how these mid-air crimes actually happen, who's most likely to be targeted, and the clever tactics thieves use right under passengers' noses. These are not sloppy amateurs. These are professional criminals who know what they're doing. They take specific flights, book strategic seats, and sit patiently for one thing: the moment you let your guard down. If you've ever nodded off on a red-eye with your bag at your feet or thrown your backpack in the overhead bin without so much as thinking twice, this video is for you. We're going step by step through exactly how thieves work mid-flight and what you can do to ensure you're never theirs. Let's begin with timing, because even in the air, crime is on a clock.
Red-eye flights? A thief's bonanza. Consider it. The lights are low, passengers are taking sleep aids, noise-canceling headphones go on, and before long, half the aircraft is snoring. That's when the thieves strike. Take one recent red-eye flight, for instance. A guy was caught swiping more than $23,000 in cash from several passengers. No drama, no confrontation. He just walked down the aisle, unzipping bags under seats and overhead compartments as people slept all around him. And by the time anyone knew what had happened, he was already on baggage claim. And that's not some isolated event. On a recent midnight flight from Bahrain to Istanbul, a businessman in business class had his pouch stolen while he slept. Flight attendants discovered later that bundles of pilfered cash had been hidden in multiple overhead bins. Don't think you're in the clear just because you fly early. Those harsh 6 a.m. flights? Same issue. Travelers are half asleep, hardly awake as they lurch to their seats. That disoriented autopilot mode is the very thing that criminals rely on. Ever gotten on a flight so exhausted that you couldn't recall where you set down your bag? That split-second lapse of memory that's the window they work from. Because theft on an airplane doesn't involve violence, it just involves a matter of seconds of inattention. And now, if there's one flight thieves like better than red-eyes, it's the international long haul. Why? The payoff. On long international flights, passengers tend to have more cash, electronics, travel documents, whatever a thief might want. These flights are 10, even 15 hours long. Enough time for you to get cozy and careless. And while you're off completing immigration papers, adjusting to time zones, or struggling with a language gap, guess what? That empty backpack in the overhead compartment isn't guarding anything. And worse yet, these thefts are plotted in advance. Thieves study flight patterns. They intentionally book routes where passengers are more likely to carry valuables. A San Francisco to Hong Kong flight? Jackpot. A quick hop from Denver to Phoenix? Not worth the effort. It's not random. It's strategic, and they know exactly what they're doing. You might think theft only happens mid-flight, in the quiet hours when everyone's asleep. And while that's certainly a prime time, some of the most vulnerable moments actually happen right in front of you when you're least thinking about security. Let's start with boarding. The second you get on the plane, it's chaos. Bodies are balancing carry-ons, searching for their row, weaving around elbows in a crowded aisle. It's noisy, high speed, and disorganized, and that's precisely what makes it perfect for thieves. Imagine this. A person pretending to search for their seat gradually makes their way by you, eyes rummaging through bags for empty bags, loose zippers, or the shine of a designer label. Perhaps they spot a computer, an open wallet, or a half-zipped bag. In an instant, they reach in and pull something out. Nobody's the wiser because everybody's too busy storing their own bags or not in the aisle. And then there's meal service. The flight attendants are rolling carts down the aisle. You're balancing food on your tray table, and your attention is locked on the meal in front of you. Chicken or pasta? You're focused forward, not on the bag under your seat or the one stashed above you. Meanwhile, someone a few rows away or even right beside you might be discreetly reaching into an unattended overhead bin or slipping a hand under the seat. It only takes a few seconds to unzip a pocket and walk away with your valuables while you're busy unwrapping plastic cutlery. And finally, Landing and deplaning, possibly the sneakiest time of all. You're reaching for your phone, standing up before the seatbelt sign so much as dings, eager to disembark. That adrenaline? It's the ideal disguise. A thief can quickly unzip your bag in the overhead storage, or, more frequently than you know, swipe a second bag and stroll off with both. By the time you realize what's happening, you're already at baggage claim. So are they. These burglars are more familiar with the beat of a flight than many flyers, and they rely on your distractions to conceal their actions. Okay, let's discuss the trap under the seat. It's the most popular place to stash your personal item. Even the TSA suggests stashing necessities there for quick access. But here's what flyers overlook. That area is just as convenient to other flyers as it is to you. Picture this. The guy in front of you stretches out, leans forward, perhaps fidgets for gum or adjusts his seat. His hand drops down between his knees into your underseat bag. They don't pull it out. Just a discreet unzip of a side pocket. One smooth action, and they've gotten a hold of your passport, your wallet, perhaps even the envelope of cash you jammed in there at the last minute. Now consider the stranger next to you. They pretend to sleep, drop something on the ground, wait till you go to the restroom. That's all they need. One swift move, one unzip, and before you get back into your seat, you'd never even know. The bad news? You might not know what you're lacking until you're about to be stopped at customs, scrambling through your luggage only to discover that your passport is nowhere to be found. And by this point, the crook disappeared. So does your ID. So does your vacation. But the good news is that this specific scam is one of the easiest to put a stop to. Rule number 1. Never keep valuables in your underseat bag. If you simply must, ensure the things you absolutely can't do without passport, wallet, electronics remain on your person at all times. Keep them in a zippered pocket jacket, crossbody bag, or belt bag that remains securely strapped to your body during the flight. Still want to utilize that space? Fine. Just lock it up. You don't need to have a TSA-grade padlock. Any zipper clip, mini carabiner, or even wrapping a cord around the zippers will do. Thieves seek the easiest mark. If they notice any obstacle, no matter how little, most won't even take the time. And here's a secret for frequent flyers. Here's a little step that makes a big impact. When you're airborne, plane your bag behind your legs rather than leaving it in front of your feet. That's an easy adjustment that puts it out of reach from the row in front, eliminating one of the most prevalent approaches thieves take. Added bonus? You also have a bit more room to spread out. You don't have to be smarter than everyone on the plane. You just have to make your bag more difficult to snatch than the one alongside it. That split second of resistance is enough to deter a thief from bothering to take it and look for an easier target. And finally, what about the overhead bin? Because what's out of sight is really out of mind. You hoist your carry-on up top, zip it closed, and forget about it until landing. Seems secure, right? Unfortunately, it's one of the most common spots for theft in the sky. Here's how it works. A thief gets up in flight, opens the bin like they're reaching for their own bag, and just begins rejostling items. Perhaps they mutter something about searching for headphones or moving things around to fit better. It appears completely normal. But in real life, they're unzipping side pouches and picking out whatever can fit. In one hand, a phone, a tablet, a wallet, something small, valuable, and easy to make off with. Most passengers never notice. And for goodness sake, who would? How many black roller bags with side pockets are stuffed into those bins? They all resemble each other. Actually, it's happened on camera. In a recently viral video posted by aviation vlogger Sam Chewy, one was caught in the act of theft on an Asiana Airlines overnight flight from Hong Kong to Incheon. In the dim cabin, he got up, pushed a briefcase from one trash can to another, and put it back when he noticed he was being observed. The video gained millions of views and was hard evidence. In-flight theft does exist, and it's occurring all around us. The most vulnerable moments? 2 particular instances. Right after you board, everyone's busy scrambling for a seat, not paying attention to bags. Before landing, when passengers jump up, start opening bins prematurely, and madness erupts. Somewhere in that chaos, it's simple for someone to slip off with a second bag, perhaps even yours. How do you keep one step ahead? If you are a solo traveler, don't stow your bag straight overhead. Place it forward or across the aisle so you can observe the open bin. Zip all pockets, particularly the convenient ones. Clip zippers together with a carabiner or zipper lock. It's instant deterrence, and most burglars won't take the risk of messing around and being seen. And here's a rule that ought to be absolute. Never stash valuables in your overhead bin. No passports, no money, no jewelry, no electronics you don't want to lose. Use the bin like checked baggage. It's for sweaters, books, and toiletries. Nothing more. Because by the time you notice something's gone from your bag up there, the person who swiped it might be halfway to another terminal or another country. Now, let's discuss one of the most underappreciated traps on the whole plane. That tiny seat back pocket directly in front of you. It's innocent looking, extremely handy. You just stuff in your phone, wallet, passport just for a second. But that's all it takes. There's no zipper, no closure, no protection. If someone walking down the aisle spots something sticking out like your phone, they don't need a distraction. They just need timing, a staged stumble, a smooth reach. You'd never feel it happen. And even if no one swipes your stuff, there's still a good chance you'll leave it behind. Flight attendants say the most commonly forgotten items on planes are wallets and passports left in seat back pockets. That moment of tiredness or distraction can turn into a major travel disaster. So why do travelers lose so many valuable things in the seat back pocket? Easy. During boarding, individuals dump things there to clear their hands or get comfortable. A phone, a wallet, perhaps even a passport. And deplaning time comes around, and their mind is already 3 steps ahead, stretching, grabbing luggage, checking messages. One final look at the seat, most completely miss it. That's how you find yourself at customs thinking your passport never got off the plane. In the TPG Lounge Facebook group, flyers joke there's a 139 million% chance you'll misplace whatever you stashed in there. Some admitted they've lost everything from iPads and reading glasses to books and even a boarding pass to the black hole that is the seat back pouch. And even if you do remember to check, you might regret it. Passengers have complained about finding dripping water bottles, dirty diapers, and even discarded insulin needles from previous flights. Seatback pockets are perhaps the most neglected area on speed cleanings between flights. And your belongings? They don't belong there. So what's the smarter way? Tuck your essentials in close but not thoughtlessly crammed into an open pouch. Instead, choose a jacket with zippered inside pockets or a sling bag that remains buckled across your body during flight. The aim is straightforward. Your most vital stuff must feel like part of you, not something you'd rather forget later. If it's something you'd sob about losing, don't put it where a toddler would stash a crayon. And here's a trick. Savvy travelers swear on. Wear your storage. Today's travel jackets are nothing like the bulky utility vests of the 92nd. We're talking sleek, everyday outerwear with hidden compartments built right in. For women, check out the Scott Vest Chloe Glow hoodie or the Anatomy Kenya Safari jacket, both stylish and functional, with room for your phone, passport, and more. For guys, the Scottivest Tropiformer or the Bowbax travel jacket are best bets. Both include RFID protection, several concealed pockets, and an unobtrusive style that doesn't advertise tourist. No additional bags, no swinging purses, just everything zipped up and out of sight where crooks can't get to it. Not all thefts are about hands in the pockets, though. Somebody sitting next to you might be stealing something much more precious, your data. Imagine this. You're on a business trip, checking your emails, perhaps your bank account, perhaps your hotel booking, and the individual behind or to your side. They're watching you do it. It's known as visual theft when someone quietly steals your information by reading your screen. No hacking, no dodgy devices, just a keen eye and the inopportune timing on your part. And it's simple to do on an airplane. Seats are tight. There's no privacy. If you're typing in passwords or filling in personal information, anyone sitting near you can observe it. They don't need to try to guess your login. They just saw you enter it. Seem far-fetched? It's not. Cybersecurity pros have been warning about visual hacking for years, particularly on airplanes where folks work, bank, or complete sensitive forms in plain sight of strangers. Since thieves nowadays don't necessarily need your wallet, sometimes Your unclosed laptop is enough. The solution? Surprisingly straightforward. Don't open sensitive documents when it's not entirely necessary. Utilize biometric login, such as fingerprint or Face ID, when available. Don't input full passwords in public areas. And for frequent flyers, a privacy screen. It darkens your screen from the side, so only you can view what's on your computer. One of the lowest cost, smartest security features you can take with you, and one of the best. Here's something you never even considered. What if you were the one stealing without even knowing it? Sounds crazy, right? But year after year, airlines report thousands of dollars worth of lost and pilfered items that never left the plane. And amazingly enough, it's not always some professional thief in seat 12B. Sometimes it's just an ordinary passenger like you thinking, well, nobody told me I couldn't take this. Welcome to the world of accidental theft. That soft blanket you stuffed into your backpack because it was soft? Yep, airline property. Those headphones you used during the flight? Unless you paid for them, not yours. The tiny pillow, the metal silverware, even the quirky safety card you thought would make a funny souvenir all technically belong to the airline. One of the worst offenders? The life vest tucked beneath your seat. Some people take it as a joke or trophy. But here's the thing. Removing that vest is a federal offense, and more importantly, it puts the next passenger's life at risk. Yes, people have been fined for taking them. Most of the time, sure, it's harmless, but every missing item has a cost. And spoiler alert, we all foot the bill, one way or another, most often in the form of elevated ticket prices. So before you stick that airline emblazoned spoon in your pocket or shove that napkin into your purse, ask yourself, do I really need this that badly? Because here's the truth. Not all turbulence occurs at 35,000 feet. Occasionally, it's the stealthy under-the-seat grab, the rummaging in an overhead bin, the sideways peek at your screen, or the blanket you didn't even know you weren't allowed to take. The majority of passengers think that the most challenging part is behind them once they have passed through TSA and located their gate. But as you just witnessed, the actual risks are sitting one row over, camouflaged behind a courteous smile and a pair of noise-canceling headphones waiting for you to doze off. But now, you're no longer that vulnerable target. Fly smart, remain vigilant, and keep your passport, your wallet, even your earbuds, right where they belong, with you. If you learned something today, or if you ever had a close encounter of the in-flight thief kind, share your story in the comments. I want to hear from you. And don't forget to like, subscribe, and share this video with that one friend who always leaves their backpack unzipped on the plane. Because the only thing worse than getting robbed mid-flight is realizing you pretty much made it easy.